I'd like to call the July 16, 2024 regular board meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Roll call, please.
Gwen Violet. Here. David Costa. Stephanie Hausch. Jennifer Regolick. Here. Steve Sebastian.
Here.
Kashali Shaw. Josie Shattuck. Here. Quorum present.
Please join us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is public participation. If you have questions or statements that pertain to the agenda items or wish to address the board on topics, this is your opportunity. You must sign up to address the board prior to the start of the meeting. Conduct yourself with civility towards others and exhibit honesty. When your name is called, please stand, identify yourself, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to refer to, consistent with the Open Meetings Act. On board policy, we'll reserve 45 minutes for public comment, 3 minutes max per person. I see Lee Bennett on the list. Hi, welcome.
Hello board, I'm Lee Bennett, an IHSA referee. I wish I were a lifelong volleyball player. Unfortunately, I didn't really start playing the sport until after college. In the time and place where I grew up, volleyball was considered a girls' sport. Unfortunately, this is still the case in District 46, despite considerable national growth of the men's game. Why is volleyball important? Let me give you 3 reasons. Lifelong, teaches teamwork, and a social sport. As a referee, I see many high school, junior high, and even younger kids engaged in the sport. It remains popular with my son's peers in college, and I can personally attest to it being part of an active lifestyle throughout adulthood, including gentlemen in their 80s and 90s. Some girls, and hopefully boys, that learn the game today will be on the court at their century mark. Moving on to teaching teamwork. With the occasional exception, such as Mike Collins' give the ball to Michael strategy, all coaches preach the value of teamwork. Volleyball teaches teamwork naturally. The volleyball court is large enough to require a team effort and small enough to foster urgent communication during play. Timing, players need to rely on their teammates to guard the floor and set them up in order to succeed. Volleyball is less about direct confrontation with the opposing team. Instead, gravity is the unrelenting obstacle which necessitates a great deal of cooperation. The more cooperative focus of the sport is part of the appeal to girls, and the lessons of teamwork is something our boys need as well. I believe that volleyball is the best social sport. In the case of this introvert, volleyball was my main social activity for many years. Fortunately, volleyball is a popular co-ed sport, which helped me become a parent. Feel free to laugh at me now. The shared social joy in volleyball can be seen after a long rally, when both teams separate a temporary victory over gravity, the common adversary. This social sport effectively teaches teamwork and is a healthy lifelong activity. Does the district plan on providing boys volleyball? If not, why not? Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is administrative reports.
As typical in the summertime, we'll put a lot of annual reports, and then school's getting ready for us. I'm sure you're not excited about that. Kids get back in school, yay. You're going to be close to ready to go. Which, just look at that. We are on track as far as personnel goes. We have a few spots still unfilled. We still need bus drivers, paraprofessionals. So if there's anybody out there who's looking for some fun at the school district, and you want to be a parent or a bus driver, this is the time to inquire and get that going.
How's the construction schedule?
The addition is on schedule. The renovations are not at the point where we'd like them to be. We are doing 10-hour days right now and Saturdays, trying to make up for some lost time from the asbestos abatement project. It's going to be really close.
Why did they take longer than?
2 of the rooms were scheduled for normal heat removal of the mastic. Once it was started, they found that it was more in depth and they had to, you know, that it looked like on the surface, and they had to do full containment, but it's down behind 5 days. We're trying to make that up now. Of course, it's in the areas where we had to cut the concrete, we had to put the piping in for the restrooms. It's snowball effect. Move on. So we're getting there.
Any other questions? So on to new business, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes regular and executive session minutes from June 18, 2024, bills payable, treasurer's report, and quarterly financial and investment reports.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Gwen Violet,
Yes.
Jennifer Regolick,
Yes.
Steve Sebastian,
Yes.
Josie Shattuck,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next is 7.2. May I have a motion to approve the first reading of Board Policy Press 115, additions, deletions, changes?
So moved. Second.
This is one of the easier press updates to talk about, since there were no items in there for the board to have questions about or controversial. The vast majority of them were 5-year reevaluations. Some of them we already reevaluated within the last 5 years. Made changes to them. All the additions that are, all the updates in them were due to legal changes in the reference areas mainly, and recommended to be approved as presented.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jennifer Regolick,
Yes.
Steve Sebastian,
Yes.
Josie Shattuck,
Yes.
Gwen Violet,
Yes.
motion carried.
May I have a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with District 47?
So moved. Second.
So the Woodlawn subdivision that we share at the corner of 176 and 31 with District 47 is nearing completion. They're in phase 4 or 5 now of the 5 phases. And when that development was going on the books, Dr. Hines in District 47 and I met with the attorney for Woodlawn and talked about the 20 or so parcels of land where they had plotted out that were actually split or bisected between the district boundaries of 46 and 47. And we asked them they, work on correcting that. And they had a great plan. The Woodlawn attorney was all in favor of it. Paperwork was submitted, and the county, for whatever reason, decided to ignore it and didn't make any changes. So there are 15 to 20 properties there with houses on them who pay taxes in 46 and 47. And so this intergovernmental agreement, we've had some questions about, well, where do our kids go to school? Which elementary district, 46 and 47? Well, we had picked that out back in 2018 and made the splits. And so now there's questions about, well, was that valid? Was it not valid? So what we decided to do was allow the homeowners of just those affected properties to make a choice, 46 or 47. So when they have students to register for the first time, they get to make a one-time only election for their family while they live there to choose to send their elementary students to 46 or 47. High school district is 155, so that won't make a difference. With the intergovernmental agreement, if they choose District 46, what property taxes they paid to D47 we sent to us by 47. And the same thing if they choose D47, any taxes that get paid to us from that property will send on to D47. And every time the houses sell, the person moves in or they build a new house, each time they decide to enroll students, those houses only will get a chance to make a determination on whether they want to send their students.
How can they be paying for both? I thought it was just that your neighbor could be in one district and next door could be another one.
Well, that's how we split the lots when, back in 2018. But the county, our property line between 47 and 46 is a straight line. The plots, when Whitmore made the plots, they made it based on how many could they get in there, what's the best number for them to sell lots, and they didn't matter what lines were, they just put them right on the map. And so literally there are houses on streets that have the front half of the house is in 46 and the back half of the house is in 47. They literally pay taxes to both of those. It's not, wasn't supposed to be that way. It was never intended to be that way. We had an agreement. The county didn't follow through with our agreement, so now they're paying taxes to both. It's kind of confusing.
So approximately when did the attorney for Woodmore, after that meeting, you guys submit the paperwork to the county? How long ago?
That was on the Woodmore back in 2018. I don't know when they did that.
Is that something that can be revisited again by them?
Not now. Now it's too late. Now you would have to do a petition for dissolution. There's the word here for it. Annexation and de-annexation process, and it goes to the county board. And the ROE gets involved, and this is a simple, very simple agreement between the two districts. We know they're gonna go to 1 to 2 elementary districts, let the parents decide. It only affects like 16 to 20 houses over there. If you recall, back when that first went onto the books, like 75% of the houses go to 47, or go to 46 anyway, because
Right,
the majority of it is in our district. And I was at D47's meeting last night to hear their conversation about the same topic. They had a discussion about it and put it on last night. And they acknowledge that most of the people will choose 46 because their neighbors are in 46.
Yeah.
And that just is what it is, so.
Yeah, I get it, it's just weird, it's a shame that the counties.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is.
You're supporting a development, obviously, there's not a development anywhere that this doesn't happen here, right?
When you're this close to the boundary lines, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but it's like, it should be a simple task to make that adjustment.
so future homeowners of those homes cannot revisit this and change it?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
That's
Through
all.
the annexation.
That's what this is gonna keep coming up.
It'll keep, when one of those houses gets built, there's some lots that aren't yet, not built. There's some when they build a house, and when those parents go to register for school, we know exactly which properties it is.
Right,
They'll have a choice to make. Do you wanna go to D46 or D47?
I don't understand why the house doesn't stay with the taxing school if it's a decision that's made because of the fact that this didn't go through properly.
Correct. So they will, in perpetuity, pay taxes into those districts.
And not a split portion of
No, it's not even.
tax, it's double taxing essentially.
No, it's not double.
Okay.
Nobody would buy this house.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Double tax.
Right.
It's
Like,
gotta
how
be
does it divide it?
what else, yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
That's interesting, I'm not sure how to make that determination.
My guess is that people who buy those houses will be hiring attorneys.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Were there any concerns brought up at the recent meeting?
Zero.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Jennifer Regola?
Yes.
Steve Sebastian?
Yes.
Josie Shadrack? Yes. Gwen Violet?
yes,
Motion carried.
Next item is 7.4. May I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-08, reauthorizing declaration of Illinois Route 176 as a hazardous route due to serious safety hazards.
So moved.
second,
Discussion. This is the agreement we do every year.
We do this every year
Yeah.
because of the highway and no sidewalks. Yeah. It allows us to transport all students, even those less than a mile and a half from school.
Roll call, please.
Jennifer Regola?
Yes.
Steve Sebastian?
Yes.
Josie Shadrack? Yes. Gwen Violet?
yes,
Motion carried.
May I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-09, authorizing public notice for the fiscal 25 tentative budget.
So moved.
second,
All right, so tentative budget, so that time of the year where we start having those conversations in public anyway about the budget for the year that we're in now, fiscal year 25, starts July 1st, goes to June 30th of 25. The brief PowerPoint packet, it looks very similar to what we've done in the years past. The budget process starts in the springtime. We have meetings with the department heads, with building principals, with transportation, with maintenance, talking about what are the issues they're seeing, what are the projects we're gonna have going on, what do we need for next year with curriculum issues. We've had a conversation here at this level about the curriculum for math and curriculum for English language arts, and so that money is baked into the budget, the cost of those for this next year. And so this is our first blush at a budget for the next year. Again, it's based on 5-year projection, it's based on staff decisions that we've made over the past few months. It takes into consideration the board goals as well. And then so we'll put the, you brought the motion, you got a second on it, if you tap your vote on it, we'll put the tentative budget on display for 30 days in the district office at 3103B on our 176. We'll come back at next month's hearing, or next month's meeting, and have the official hearing and take public comment on the budget. And then in September, there'll be the vote for the approval of the budget. We'll file it with the clerk's office, file it with the ROE, file it with the SB, post it on our website, all the things that we're legally required to do prior to the end of the first quarter of the year, which is September 30th. So looking at the slide 7 of the actual budget, this is our budget by fund. The 9 different funds are laid out here, estimated revenues, estimated expenditures, and P&L, profit and loss. Against about a $13 million revenue budget, with expenditures of almost $14 million, with a deficit of $975 in the ed fund for the year. Debt service, obviously, at $1.6 million. There has no income in debt service. That's the money that goes out. $1.6 million is the bond payments for this next year for the renovations we've done the last few years. Yes, obviously, I see the number down at the bottom, where $28 million is in expenditures. Again, that's almost $10 million of that is bonds. Already that were taken in as revenue last year and being spent over 2 fiscal years. So that's the vast majority of the loss for the year. Page 8 of that has the revenue history by fund over the last 5 years. And you see 13.7, 25 million first round bonds, 15.6, 28.9 second round bonds, 16.4, different revenue areas for each one of those. Spots over time. The expenditures are the next slide. Again, you'll see after that, you've got a big increase in revenue, you have the big expenditures the following year. And I think it's interesting, if you look at the slide 10, you see the P&L by fund, and you'll see over 5 years, you've got up 800,000, up almost 10 million, down 4.2, up almost 6.5, down 11. Over the 5-year time span, you're still in black over 5 years. Once this will be the last year of the bond fluctuations, we should pay out the rest of the construction projects during this fiscal year. It's about to be gone. So 25, 26, and moving on until you set the project, you'll see regular budgets from then on out. Key assumptions in this year's budget, of course, is we are trying to maintain balanced budgets and reduce some of the restricted funds. We've been spending down IMRF and Social Security and TOR. There's no point in keeping big fund balances in there. You can only spend money from those accounts on those certain items. We've been spending those down to more normal balance. Salary, staffing, of course, is the big thing. Salary and benefits is about 85% of the budget every year. This year, we're at 1.5 FTE for licensed staff. That's a social worker and an English teacher. Support staff, if we fill them all, we're up 3.0, including bus drivers and paraprofessionals. And of course, the PGTA salary matrix, MOU, which is we did the last month or so. So those things are all baked into the expenditure side. Health insurance is up 6.3%. Other key assumptions on page 12, capital outlay for the rest of phase B is approximately $9.7 million. The parking lot renovation is not included. It's a possible 2025 project. We still don't have a permit from IDOT yet to touch the parking lot. Since it touches our right of way, they have to give authorization and not give it to us yet. So that's on hold for a while. They've had it for 7 months.
Right.
So we're still waiting for IDOT to come through. We've got 2 rounds of questions and comments back from them that we responded to, and they just take a long time to review. So hold off on that. Other large expenditures here, we have student and staff Chromebooks. We do every year. We buy about 300 new Chromebooks every year and cycle them in and out. Of course, we had the bus lease change. It was a huge dollar increase. That's also reflected in the budget. And then we're gonna add some groundskeeping equipment. We're having more land area now that we've not gonna farm, we have more area to maintain, so we're gonna have to add some groundskeeping equipment in the budget as well. Policy 420 reminds us to look at our cash on hand. You run through all of the numbers based on the formula and based on the policy. We're required, we must have 60 days minimum cash on hand at the end of the year. We're going to estimate right now to have 268 days of cash on hand at the end of June 25. Questions?
So the increase of, it's almost 2 million in the education fund, is that accounted for because of the variable expenditures that you just referenced, the Chromebooks, the bus, that significant bus lease change, and the groundskeeping equipment,
So-
and the salary increase?
We've been adjusting our levy year, so rather than continuing to add fund balances to TORP and IMRF and Social Security, we've been redirecting those to the ed fund because that's where the majority of our expenditures are. So that's where the majority of our revenue has been going. So that's why you see an increase in that area, and decrease in some of the others.
Just as an aside, what was the nature of their two questions at that, the parking lot? You said they questioned.
Oh, they have questions out, they do a traffic study.
Right,
For the new entrance off of Valley View. We had that done. They had a couple of questions for response on that traffic study. They're wanting us to consider the 2007 IDOT proposal to widen 176. That's out there in the nebulous, it's never, no money's attached to it yet. But that plan stated by 2030, they wanted to have from Route 31 to some point beyond us, a 3-lane highway here with a turn lane off in the middle of it. To do that, we have to change our physical boundaries and give them more right of way, and that wasn't factored into our plans. To do that, we're actually would have to lose the middle exit from the parking lot, and then the state's right of way would be within 30 or 40 feet of the kindergarten classroom in the north lane. We had this conversation back when we were starting the renovation projects. When IDOT gets around to widening 176, are we gonna still be in the north wing and be that close to the highway? Now, so IDOT saying, well, you need to consider that, because they wanna eventually, I guess, widen the highway by 30 million. I gave the money for it. So we're on holdups right now. We have responses into them right now. We will lose parking spots in the main lot if we adhere to what they're asking us. They're asking for more clarification. Are you actually going to widen the highway? They want us to lose that middle section and lose some parking spots.
And this is just so we can recut and new aprons?
Correct.
Correct. Because that's their problem, it's not our problem about widening the road.
No, it's not. The aprons are our problem because it floods the parking lot, because they're crushed.
No, I understand, but yeah.
Hmm?
I mean, them wanting to think, that's like saying, well, we want to go right through the middle of the building, like that's.
Right.
That's
It's like in the domain, they want to take the property, correct, from both sides and widen. Go for it. Show us you're going to do it, that's fine.
Is there any financial benefit to the school if they do go ahead and say, we're just gonna take the eminent domain?
Well, that would be the negotiation part of it, actually
Right.
trying to do a real job, which is what they've never done.
I don't foresee them doing it. I'll be shocked if they actually widen that highway.
Think about how long 176 goes.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that wide. Very, very few spots.
Yeah.
It looks like this almost from 47 to 24.
Correct.
okay, thanks.
Sure. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Steve Sebastian,
Yes.
Josie Shattuck,
Yes.
Gwen Violet,
Yes,
Jennifer Regoli,
Yes.
motion carried.
May I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-10 to transfer funds from education fund 10 to debt service fund 30?
Second.
So twice a year, we make a bond payment. Here in the fall, we pay interest only. In February, we pay principal and interest. This transfers, as you saw in my budget presentation, there's no money in debt service. So in order to pay that money out of debt service, we have to transfer it from education to debt service. And that's what the resolution is for. Almost $680,000 of interest.
Roll call vote, please.
Josie Chadwick?
Yes.
Gwen Violet?
Yes.
Jennifer Regolick?
Yes.
Steve Sebastian?
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:26 PM?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Okay.